Yo, what's going on, guys? Zebs here, bringing you a tutorial on the camera raw filter little feature here in the filter tab, which is basically a new thing added to CC, which is it's not in CS6, but you can get a plugin for it on the Adobe site, I'm pretty sure. And so for all you CS6 users, you can get a plugin for this, and for CC users, you already have it, so it's all good. So to start off with, I'm just going to show you some examples and explain what this filter is, because some of you guys may have never even heard of this. So basically, what a camera raw filter, what it does basically is it does natural changes in a realistic form, kind of. It's a little bit hard to explain, but maybe you guys will understand it with some of these examples I've made. So to start off with, this is the cool filter I've made, which we'll go into a little bit later. But basically what it does is it makes things look really natural and subtle, but in a cool or warmer way, kind of. But that's the way I use it. You can use it in much other ways. Make dull images, you can make those stand out, things like that. But basically, for an example, here this windshield, it looks like it just looks nicer than what it was before. It's like, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, but same with warm here. Warm, it looks natural, like you could like use both if you wanted. The cool is a little bit, I don't know if it's not as good as an example due to the fact that just the way this image was, but yeah, you'll have to experiment with it. You can still make it look really good, but warm looks nice. It makes it look a lot sunnier and natural. So that's what this filter does. It saves a lot of time because you can use these filters to make it look the same way, but it just takes a little bit more time to do. So this plugin right here. So I'm going to show you two ways you can do it. So to start off with, you're going to need a background, and if you don't know how to make a background, you start off with a regular layer here, and you go to Layer, New, Background from Layer, and that'll turn it into a background layer. So once you've done that, you can go Convert to Smart Object, and what that does is when you open the camera raw filter up, basically if you were to edit some stuff in it, and then later down the road you don't like something about it, you can always change it and go back and change it. And so yeah, that's the benefit of this way. And another way of doing it is basically just having a regular layer, go camera raw filter. Both of those work, except this second way, you can't edit it later. So we're just going to have it as a background and go Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and then it'll load up. And right off the bat, you're just going to have your original layer, the image that you have or that you want to edit. And to edit it, just click the layer and then do the filter. So to start off with, we're in the Basic tab, and I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to show you every single thing in here because that'll just, you know, take too long, and I'm not sure on every single thing in here, so I'm just going to show you some cool little things that you can do to make your images pop out. And some of you guys may be wondering, like, hey Zebs, can I do this on my banner? Well, of course you can, because you can edit it in any way you want to make your banner pop out and things like that. There's some really cool features in this little filter section plugin. I don't know what to call this, raw camera filter, I guess. And so to start off with, we have the temperature. If you have experience with the temperature at all, you know, cold is warm, warm is orange, or blue is cold, orange is warm. So we're gonna make a warm filter, and so we're just gonna have a nice looking orange there. So plus 34 if you want to copy me, and I'll have this picture in the description down below if you guys want to use it. And then tint, you can have a tint of something. So say you want a tint of pink or green. You obviously just move the scroll bar and then it'll give you that tint. So I'm just gonna have a little bit a tint of green just to make the background here, all the leaves and trees and whatnot, just to stand out a little bit more. So we're gonna do -11 here. Exposure, again, some of this stuff is just kind of, you know, if you've used Photoshop before, you know what this is. So we're just gonna kind of maybe dull it down a little bit, so maybe like very subtle dull. And contrast, you know, I'm not gonna explain it, but you get the gist of it, what it does. But we are going to be editing it, so we're just gonna go into boom, make it a little bit sharper. So plus 23. Highlights, highlights kind of when you have whites, and if you move the scroll bar to the like far right, it really brightens them and brings it out a lot. And the left does the opposite. So for this case, I want to move it to the far left a little bit. Well, not all the way, maybe 80, just so it's not so blinding on the windshield here. Because let's just use this as an example, as like a wallpaper. I usually like to have very subtle stuff, not something like just fully white that like, you know, just kind of too much. So we're just going to have -80. Shadows. So this is a cool little thing about this filter that I don't know if you can do it in any other thing in Photoshop. I don't know. But basically what this does is if you move the scroll bar all the way to the right, it really gets rid of shadows or brightens shadows a lot. And if you move it to the left, it really darkens the shadows and stuff like that. So for example, if you look right here, if I move it all the way to the right, there's still a shadow there, but it's brightened basically. And if I move it all the way to the left, you can see that the shadow have been darkened. It looks like the sun is dimmer, you know? So you can really take advantage of this and make something look nice. So we're just going to kind of darken the shadows just a little bit, not a whole lot. So +6. Whites, same exact thing, except it's the whites. Sounds kind of racist. But we're just going to dim that down, -20. Blacks, same thing. Darkens all the blacks. It kind of well, I guess it kind of just makes everything a little bit darker. But we're gonna do +18 on it. Clarity. It's hard to explain what clarity is. If you move all the way to the left, it looks very. I don't know, kind of like oil painty kind of. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but if you mess with clarity before, it can be used as a really cool tool. So we're just gonna do maybe +11, I guess. Vibrance, saturation, we're not gonna mess with any of that stuff. So as you can see already, it's really coming along pretty well from before. So you have kind of like curves here, basically. It is curves, tone curve. You can mess with it. We're just gonna kind of do a whoops, not that. We're going to kind of try and do a little balance here. Just kind of like a curve, as you can see. Boom, from the original line, which you can see. Sharpen makes sense if you've used it before, same thing, but you can make this really strong, which it's kind of hard to notice on here. Well, you can see it pretty well, I guess. Well, maybe not on YouTube, but basically, I guess an example would be right here. Here, see if I can. Whoops. Right here. And if I move it all the way to the left, you can see that it's very blurry, kind of. And if I move to the right, it's sharper, things like that. You can obviously make stuff too sharp. So we're not gonna have it too sharp. We're gonna have it maybe at like 60. Now for banners, I have messed with this before. I'd be careful with it. So yeah. Luminance, I don't know. Just it doesn't really like have much detail when you move to the right. Like basically if I move it, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. The more to the right, the lesser detail and stuff there is on it. It's kind of just like a plain color, smooth, and to the left is quite opposite, you know. So we're just gonna have a small, very, very, very small, like 3. Not gonna mess with any of this. Obviously, if you want to, you can. This stuff, you know, you mess with the colors. We're not gonna mess with that. Highlights, highlights. I don't know. I guess you can obviously raise the saturation. Hue, you can do the same thing with the saturation. So if I make it up here, you can change colors. Pretty self-explanatory. Balance between blacks and whites, you know, same thing. Shadows, you can change shadow colors, stuff like that. Lens correction, I don't really know what this one does. Like I said, I haven't really used everything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've experimented with most stuff, but I don't know about this. I haven't really messed with it too much to understand it. Grain, if you move it all the way to the right, adds a grain effect. Be careful with this. I'll set it to probably like 10 maybe, just something very, very subtle. I don't even know if you can see it on YouTube. Probably not. Camera calibration, you can do tints and whatnot. And this last little thing here is really helpful. You can make presets, which these 2 presets I showed you as an example. So basically, to save a preset, you have all your settings, and you click the new layer down here, basically the new little layer thing here, and basically you can name it whatever you want. So we'll call it tutorial filter 2K15, of course. And basically it shows all the settings and that you've done and everything like that, and you click OK. And basically, say you have multiple filters, which in this case I do, you can always just switch through them, and with just default settings, just go straight to your filters, stuff like that. So that's really useful if you like a filter that you've made on a wallpaper and you want to do it on another one. So basically, that's how the camera raw filter works. It's a really, really cool feature if you've worked with it before. You can use it on wallpapers if you like to make your own wallpapers. Generally, I like to have like nature, space, stuff like that kind of wallpapers, so this really works out for me. You can use it on banners, of course. You can make stuff pop out and things like that. And so, yeah, this is, here, I'll just show you a quick little example here, I suppose. I was going to do something with this one, but I just completely forgot about it. So, like I said, warm, cool. Like, look at that. It looks cool. Obviously, I'd have to work with it a little bit just due to the fact that most wallpapers, their colors are different and things like that. So, you got to be kind of careful with that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Leave a comment down below on what you guys would want. And also, I forgot to mention, I was going to mention this in the beginning, but I forgot. We have our SoundCloud up and working again. Basically, we created a SoundCloud a long time ago, but we didn't do much with it. So basically, in the description down below, at the very bottom of the description, we have a link to our SoundCloud, which basically has a bunch of music and stuff that we all like to listen to that we thought maybe you guys would like if you wanted to check it out, things like that. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a like and comment on what I should do to improve and things you liked about the tutorial so I can learn from it and make better tutorial for you guys. And so yeah, guys, I am out. Peace.